Derrick Rose, a statement that can spin an entire room. A polarizing statement that's only 2 words. A household name that's had to carry weight that no man should. Just a kid from inner city Chicago. A kid from inner city Chicago that would take the entire world by storm. Many basketball players have fantastic high school and college careers, only to fade away once they reach the pros. The NBA is a different game, it's a different beast. Few players have been able to influence the game like Derrick Rose at the game's highest level. Rose's rookie season, he would prove he would be a player that would be destined for greatness. Derrick Rose was born in Chicago and grew up on its south side. In 2003, the point guard enrolled at Simeon Career Academy. Due to school tradition, Rose was not allowed to play on the varsity team as a freshman. Instead, he would lead the freshman and sophomore team to a city championship and a 24-1 record for the season. 1 loss. Derrick Rose averaged 18.5 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 6.6 assists. And he was also bringing in 2 extra possessions per game. That's 2 steals. During his junior and senior years, Derrick Rose would lead his team to back-to-back state titles.
Derrick Rose with the bucket. They have won the 2006 state championship. And the Simeon Wolverines will have done it. Back-to-back state championships for Simeon.
This was the first time a Chicago Public League team accomplished this in Illinois' prep history. For his 4 years at Simeon Career Academy, Rose's teams had a combined record of 120-12. Derrick Rose, he would be named Illinois' Mr. Basketball and the first team All-American. The wins, the accolades, it was all coming in. But Derrick Rose was just getting started. He would play his college basketball at the University of Memphis under Coach John Calipari. And while 14.9 points, 4.5 boards, and 4.7 assists as a freshman, for whatever reason might not wow you, Rose's game and big playability would. Rose was a collegiate highlight reel, but more so, he was a gamer. He would appear in all 40 games for the Tigers, while they would go 38-2 and set an NCAA record for wins in a season. Rose could hoop. We knew Rose was good. It was just how good was Rose going to be? The Tigers that season would play in the NCAA championship game. He was named a 3rd-team All-American. A month after the University of Memphis played in the NCAA championship game, the university was informed that they were under investigation for having someone else take Derrick Rose's SAT. And just like that, the season was gone. The NCAA wanted to pretend that that season never happened. It was a minor setback for a major comeback. While the NCAA could take the season away from Rose, what they couldn't take away was the fact that Derrick Rose had become the most polarizing prospect in the 2008 NBA draft. This 6'3" point guard boasted a 6'8" wingspan and a 37-inch vertical leap, which if you ask me, I simply don't think Rose stretched that day. But if you ask him, he'll tell you he increased it 5 inches since coming into the league. 37 was crazy, right? Well, tell me what y'all think about 42. Have you guys seen some of the dunks that Rose has pulled off? Sometimes it flat out feels like he's jumping off of a trampoline. I'm talking about like a 50-inch vertical. Hey, you guys remember Slam Ball, right? Let me chill. The 2008 draft class would be one to remember. It was a draft that also included Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, Brook Lopez, Serge Ibaka, and DeAndre Jordan. Let's go all the way back to the 2008 NBA lottery. You see the board in front of you and you see the odds that the Chicago Bulls had of drafting Derrick Rose. A 1.7% chance. You can call it the stars aligning, you can call it destiny, you can call it a rig, you can call it whatever you want. The Bulls would leave the lottery with the 1st overall pick.
And that means the number 1 pick in the 2008 NBA draft will be made by the Chicago Bulls.
And they would leave the 2008 NBA draft with Derrick Rose.
With the 1st pick in the 2008 NBA draft, the Chicago Bulls select Derrick Rose from the University of Memphis.
Hometown kid. Rose to Chicago was like something you only see in movies. I mean, we saw LeBron to Cleveland, but for me, this was different. And hey, I know the odds, but I still can't believe the Cavaliers were able to get LeBron James. The Cavaliers' LeBron hype was like nothing I had ever seen. I owned a LeBron James jersey before he even played a game in the NBA. It's safe to say I've never done that for any other NBA player. As we touch back to Derrick Rose, it wasn't just like he had the weight of Chicago on his shoulders. It had to feel like the entire world. Going #1 overall in an NBA draft and going to your hometown, a hometown whose NBA team had one of the best players in NBA history and Michael Jordan play for them. Oh yeah, that had to be tough. Figuratively, you could call those some big shoes to fill. But Derrick Rose was ready to walk his own path. And he didn't just walk. He hit the ground running. To begin his NBA career, Rose would become the first Bulls draft pick since Michael Jordan to score at least 10 points in each of his first 10 games. His size, his strength, and his aggression when attacking the rim reminded us of great players before him. But they weren't one and the same, because Rose was different. He kicks off the season being named Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for November and December. All-Star Weekend, Rose will become the first rookie to win the NBA Skills Challenge. His winning time at 35.3 seconds beat out some OGs, J. Kidd, Chris Paul, D. Wade, and D. Will. After trading for John Salmons and Brad Miller before the NBA trade deadline, the Chicago Bulls ended the 2008-2009 season on a roll. They won 12 of their last 16. It would put them at 500, but that's all they would need to lock down the 7th seed. Derrick Rose would win another Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month in March. For the 2008-2009 season, Rose would start in 80 games, average 16.8 points, nearly 4 boards, and 6.3 assists. He did all of this while shooting almost 48% from the field. He would also win Rookie of the Year, joining Michael Jordan and Elton Brand as the only Chicago Bulls to accomplish this feat. Rose's teammate Joakim Noah told reporters, "You tell me another #1 pick who got to the playoffs in their hometown, especially in a big city with so many distractions and so many things going on." I mean, he's all about one thing, and that's winning basketball games. And that's what I respect about him. The Big Three Celtics. That's who the Chicago Bulls had to play in the first round of Derrick Rose's rookie year. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo. The way Rondo could hoop, let's go ahead and call it a Big Four. One of the best floor generals I've seen. You got KG, one of the best bigs to ever play, arguably the best power forward. Hey, I'm sorry, Tim Duncan. You have Paul Pierce, one of the biggest shot makers in NBA history. This guy's cold-blooded. He's clutch. Man, how quickly they forget. And I'm no Paul Pierce fan. You don't need 2 phones to know that OG Paul Pierce was an absolute bucket. I don't care about the dumb takes he says. I don't care about any of that. And then you have Ray Allen, one of the best shooters to ever play. A squad that had Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer, fresh off a title. Wait, so I just remember they had Perkins on that squad too. A lot of bad media takes come from that squad. But back to D. Rose, back to the series. You want to talk about arguably the best first-round series in NBA history? Then let's get it started. KG would be out with a knee sprain for the entire series. Sorry, I had to hype KG up too. The Chicago Bulls would counter their starting lineup with Ben Gordon, Joakim Noah, John Salmons, and Derrick Rose. They didn't even have Luol Deng. On April 18, 2009, Derrick Rose would tie Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for most points scored by a rookie in their playoff debut. He dropped 36. He didn't do that all season. Big players, they elevate their game when it matters most. Those regular season numbers, you can miss me with those. The playoffs, an entirely different game, an entirely different environment. Rose would also tally 4 boards and 11 assists. These stats will qualify him as the only player besides Chris Paul to put up at least 35 points and 10 assists in their first playoff game. With upset on the horizon, the Chicago Bulls would take game 1, 105-103 in OT. Knicks fans are going to hate me for saying this one, but Joakim Noah played his part. 11 points, 17 boards. Sometimes his game simply doesn't get enough love. He was a vital part of that team and his heart went a long way. A defensive high-energy player that could board and pass, you sign me up for that. Game 2, Ben Gordon and Ray Allen. Both players made 6 3-pointers. Gordon scored 42, and Ray Allen, he answered with 30. Derrick Rose would chip in 10 points, 6 boards, 7 assists, and 2 blocks. The Celtics would escape with a 118-115 win. The Bulls coach thinks that if they didn't surrender 21 offensive rebounds, the game would have been theirs. Rondo had 7 offensive boards by himself. It also didn't help that Rose was in early foul trouble. Game 3, Rose would get his Rookie of the Year, but he would struggle. 9 points, 4 of 14 shooting, and 7 turnovers. Rondo would come up big for the Celtics again, 20 points, 11 boards, 6 assists, and 5 steals. Celtics won this one easy, 107-86. The Bulls would find themselves down 2-1 entering Game 4. This game would be a battle between both teams' point guards, as Derrick Rose would go on to score 23 points, grab 11 boards, and record 9 assists, while Rondo would drop 25, 11, and 11. The game went to double overtime. First OT, the Celtics would make the mistake of not fouling, being up 110-107.
Inbound quick, back out to Gordon. Gordon looking, Gordon for 3.
Ben Gordon came through, and he came through in a big way. In the second OT, Noah would sink free throws to help ice the game. Bulls win 118-121. With the series even at 2-2, Game 5 would turn out to be a big one. Ben Gordon would lead the Bulls with 26 points. Rose would score 14 of his own, grab 8 boards, and record 6 assists, but it wouldn't be enough. Paul Pierce would absolutely take over this game when the game was on the line. He would knock down 3 straight jump shots, including the game winner with 3.4 seconds left. The Bulls would get the truth in a very tough way. Some people still can't believe there was no flagrant call on Brad Miller's last shot attempt. He would miss both free throws, but I mean, could you blame him? April 30th, 2009, Bulls and Celtics play Game 6. Bulls know they gotta get this series to 7. Everything on the line. Tempers were flying high. This game would go to overtime like 3 of the first 5 games in this series. The 20-year-old rookie Derrick Rose stepped up in a big way. He had 28, 8, and 7. But on the other side of things, Ray Allen had 51. He was playing like the Ray that we all knew. He would hit a shot that would force triple overtime. Does anybody else remember the play where Joakim Noah steals the ball from Paul Pierce, goes coast to coast, and then dunks on Paul Pierce? This game was crazy, and I'm not sure Chicago would have had it any other way. Rose blocks Rondo with 7 seconds left. Bulls win 128-127. Game 7, the Bulls would lose 109-99. But what happened? Ben Gordon would drop 33 points, but he shot 7 of 23. But I mean, hey, he was 15 of 15 from the free throw line. Perhaps the Celtics were simply the better team. Or perhaps the Bulls had their chances and were simply a few calls away. The Celtics would go on to lose in the next round. The series took a toll on them like no other. In Rose's rookie playoff debut, he would go on to average 19.7 points, 6.3 assists, and 4.9 rebounds against the famed Boston Celtics. Rose was a big-time player, without a doubt. And you don't become the youngest MVP any other way. I'm not sure the NBA will ever see another guard quite like Derrick Rose. Sometimes I wonder, if there's no injuries, what happens? This was a team with all of the talent. It was built for success, and it was deep, and it had a star like no other. And according to Carmelo Anthony, it almost had another. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now. Be sure to subscribe. I'm G Like Coop, keeping you guys entertained, and I'm out.